Hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. Today we are locked on to Atow of Team Liquid as they take on Evil Geniuses in Game 5. This is the round 4 lowers of Swiss from our last European regional event. By last European regional event, I mean the only one we've had so far this season. But why are we locked into this matchup? Well, a couple reasons. I think both of these teams find themselves in very interesting positions. Both have something to prove this season. One of them made a roster move, the other stayed pat. Different stories, but similar kind of projections for themselves, I would say. Let's start first with our opponents here. That would be Evil Geniuses, who last season had a quality showing. Certainly not good enough for me to be absolutely blown away by the roster move that they made, but Catalysm and Ivan decided to move on from RizX45, one of the players that I enjoyed watching most last season. Unfortunately, that moved RizX to his, 39th team over the last few years, but that's neither here nor there. They picked up Tox from Luminosity, who I think is the word solid gets thrown around a lot, but Tox is just incredibly positioned player, great defender, just everything you kind of want. Certainly not somebody who's always going to, absolutely blow your eyes out of your skull with some of his plays, but just always makes, good decisions on the ball. So I understood why Evil Geniuses went the route they did, and it looked like it was paying off. Top 16 qualifiers, they went 3-0 to make it through to the main event. And on the other side, Team Liquid, oh geez, Atow, that hurt my eyes. Let's see what he does here. Oh, that's a smart little play to leave Karowski. But Team Liquid, last season we only got to see them in a single major, and that was not due to the quality of their performances. It was actually an age restriction. This team signed knowing that the players were too young to compete in the RLCS, but they were so good that Liquid said, we don't care, we just won't compete in the RLCS for a couple of splits until we are eligible. And as soon as they were eligible, they showed what we'd all been waiting for, made the only major that they were allowed to in that season, and looked pretty good doing it. I'd say all of them, all three of the players were kind of able to pop. I think Atow was probably the most consistent, and he had a pretty quality game here to close things out. But Chronic was really your offensive firepower, and Oski is just so dynamic mechanically that he is impossible to take your eyes off of. But to begin this season, I think most people saw what they did last year and thought, well, if that's what they did in their first major, that was a banger of a shot. Look how quick Atow is off this sidewall. He gets to read to his own sidewall and pops back off of it so fast to get a pass out mid. Bang, 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 pass. Oski, smart little play. Quality bounce, crushes that one off the top post. But I don't know, have we really seen that so far from Liquid this season? Is this the improvement that we all thought? I sure thought that they'd be better than this. I think the big struggle that they've had, or at least the player who has had a big struggle so far this season, has been a Chronic. He delivered and rating isn't everything, but he delivered the lowest rating over the course of this event. He dropped like a 0.62, I think? Yeah, 0.62 according to my notebook, which is the lowest rating from this event. And it just seems like he's not getting the same, he's not producing the same offense that he did last year. I think he only has like 0.32 shots per game or something like that. But to be fair, on the other side of the ball, Evil Genius's star player last season, Catalysm, struggled too. He had the 6th lowest rating in this event, and it seems like it's just being a little too selfless, second-guessing yourself a little too much, similar to some of the struggles that I feel like I've seen from Joyo on Moist. Just not really able to find what he's supposed to be doing. Tox, oh my, that was a close one. to almost tie it up. But both these teams have had star players that have kind of struggled. Somebody's got to go for that ball, or that'll happen. You want to check that out one more time? Let's do it. So, okay, this is the one that goes all the way downfield. That's very convenient that it goes that far. So that's how it goes for this corner boost. It gets stolen. Looks like Oski's coming for this back boost here, and Atow takes it. But let's keep it rolling. Somebody's got to go for this ball. Chronic's out of the play. I understand why Atow he doesn't fake challenge, but somebody needs to be in the air for this here. Catalysm gets a nice pass to Ivan, and that's a perfect slot from Tox. And not surprised to see that, because Evil Geniuses have absolutely loved going to overtime this season, if that's where we're going. They've played 27 games so far over the course of... What a save. Holy moly. They played 27 games, and they've had 12 of those, so 44% go to overtime. And they've split 50-50 on those overtimes coming here. So heading into this game, they're either going to be plus or minus on the overtimes. And I guess I spoiled it a little bit because there is overtime. But they've just loved going to overtime so far. And this is a big golden goal. Huge demo from Ivan. Tox is up. Great cutout by Chronic. Big miss by both players. But I don't know. I just think both of these teams probably underperformed where they thought they were going to be. And this game is going to really make that go even further one way or the other. Wow, that was wild looking. If it was me in the game, I definitely would have owned gold that. I don't know what they're doing. But Europe is weird this season so far, isn't it? I feel like a lot of teams have either overperformed or underperformed what we anticipated. NA has seemed a little more pat just because top 16 quals, not a lot seemed to change from there. You know, we had teams like Optic and Furia really needing to prove it. NRG is about where we thought, although I think they might have a pretty standout weekend. I would, if anybody has stock on them going to playoffs that they want to sell, I will gladly buy that. But before we talk about NRG, let's look over here at what happened. Tox, poor clear. Oski ceiling read, gets the dunk. Catalysm, poor clear. A Chronic with the pass off the wall to our boy Atow here. So yeah, that's going to send Evil Geniuses home. I know I was a little over the place in this, but just a lot of thoughts on my mind about, you know, what we're seeing and what we're expecting from some of these teams. You know, a team like Liquid, I think we certainly thought that they would have is better results fair. I mean, they made the playoffs, but they ended up losing in their first round to Moist. I just think a team like this, we kind of expected that they would look a little more crisp than they do, that their play style would make a little more sense, and that the players would be connecting better together because they're just running this roster back. I think there's a lot of pressure on a team like this, not only from the org who decided to, you know, wait and spend money for them to kind of, you know, foster this talent and bring them up to this point, but also from these players. All of them are exceptionally talented, so I would assume that they have pretty high expectations of themselves as well. So a good quality win here over an Evil Geniuses team that also is looking to get over the hump of what their results were last season, but they're going to have to prove it. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to be headed back over to North America for next weekend, so a video is going to come out every day until then. But until next time, guys, thanks so much for your time, and take it easy.